All right, hello, hello, hello. Sorry, did not die. I was just refilling that coffee. You guys know how it goes. Let's see here. Let's get this. I realized I hit the start button. I was like, oh my god, coffee! I'm out. Go. Level might be a little low. It looks like it's in the right zone where I try to get it normally, but maybe you're getting old, Neuro. Maybe your hearing's starting to go. Uh, no, I haven't done. I haven't gotten that far yet. Here, I'll do it over here. Giveaways. Boom and boom. There we go. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, been craziness. So nuts. 24 hours. Not. I guess it's not as nuts as before, but yesterday was like a scramble. Like Melissa couldn't find the marriage license, and then again I told you guys about the JAMA with the different name thing, and then was able to get then Jen had a follow up appointment for the bite. So we like crammed all that in. Then Melissa's like, I need to go to the chiropractor. Though I was like, okay, sure, just whatever. So she did that at 12. Came home, and then we like packed all their stuff up, and then obviously it was the kids' first big trip, so we had to take him to the airport like early, and then she had to like battle there, and then yeah, it was just nuts. And then I came back, was home for a bit, and then like I had all kinds of stuff. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I had a game last night. I didn't get back to like 11:30. So like everything's running behind today. But I was like, I have to have coffee. And then I've started. This is 13. I guess what did Jen say? 13, 12 more sleeps, 13 more sleeps until she's home or whatever. I don't know. Melissa's the only one awake. Everybody else is still sleeping. But they got to my in-laws' house at like 2 a.m. our time. So I mean, Kip had been sleeping all day. So yeah, we'll see how it goes today. Um, Hopefully, Jen does not get an attitude with my in-laws today, or I'm convinced it's going to be like, "Did you get me a present for my birthday?" She's going to be milking it for everything it's worth. I'm sure. So yeah. Anyway, some interesting statements. They're kind of rolling through right now. Lagarde she's just dropping everything, right? Talking about like this one here. Prior guidance on September rate move is no longer applies. We've had some manufacturing numbers coming in. Um, yeah, the euro. Everybody expected 0.25, and they slammed us in there with a point 0.5. Was kind of shocked at that one. And what's interesting about it is, you look at this and you see the euro dollar. It's like, yeah, it's down, right? So a lot of it was factored already in, right? And again, you can see in the last 60 minutes, it's really just started to crank through. I mean, that's where it came from. So, and I don't know if that's because everybody expected a rate hike and it was like, yeah, 0.25. And I said yesterday, like 0.25 is like kind of weak compared to everybody else. But the fact that they said the rate move no longer applies, it's kind of like wah wah wah, and I think that's kind of what rolled it over. Like that maybe they're trying to do a one and done type scenario. Kind of interesting. Um, and then the pound taking it on the chops a little bit today too. But euro pound only 18. That's again it shows us a lot of that was factored in. And then look at this Philly Fed number. I mean these things just got. I mean wow, it's supposed to be zero point 0.9, came in at minus 12, and I said that I expected this one to be negative, not this negative, but I was actually expecting a negative number here. So yeah, and then obviously unemployment claims continuing to tick higher. Um, yeah, CNBC yesterday they were talking about it when I was in the car. I was listening to it, and I forget who they had on, but they basically said that like the market's been holding up pretty well. But as far as we're already starting to see like housing's already flipped, but that's one of the first things that go. But right now we have not seen unemployment change, and it takes 6 to 8 months typically for interest rate changes to really start doing anything. That like our path is clear that we're going to be going higher. Um, and there's really nothing I mean they can't say anything. The labor market is still strong, the unemployment hasn't ticked back up again. Unemployment claims, I mean again it is red, but I mean we're talking about 11,000 jobs here. It's like kind of like 11,000, right? The big report is we're looking for 11 million people. So yeah, it's kind of just a drop in a hat. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, we are getting some Fast and Furious headlines out right now. And again, really, besides, I mean, I guess it's kind of the reversal from what we saw. And we mentioned it yesterday. The dollar was getting pretty much slammed yesterday, but it was in an area where buying was coming in. And then today is the exact opposite. We're kind of seeing it rally back up again. But I wouldn't say any. I mean, none of these dollar numbers. I'm like, ooh. I mean, obviously, we got pound weakness, right? We see that across the board. Trying to see, she's got it's like headline, 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 headline. BOJ is likely to recover in the middle of the projection period. Got it. They joined first rate hike. I got it. Oh, I guess today Draghi's back on the I'm gonna resign. Right. So yesterday it was like try to resign and the president asked me to stay on. Um, and now he's no wait. This is 5 hours ago, but this is 6 hours ago. Um, oh, he has. Now it's confusing. Prime Minister Draghi has tendered resignation statement. At least president has started to carry on his caretaker government. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like Draghi is really trying to get off the sinking ship, and the ship captain is like, no, 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 you should stay. It's still good. It's kind of what this one sounds like, right? Like Draghi's been mentioning for the last few days. He's like on again, off again, on again, off again, and yeah. So yeah, but again, Euro, nice day. Again, nice comments. I think this is kind of why we're seeing a little bit of the weakness right there, right? Accelerating exit, but not changing the ultimate point of arrival. I love that. Probably lost in translation, but this one, pride guidance on September rate move no longer applies. And I'm curious. I wonder if this is again. Everybody was really kind of going assumed it was going to be 0.25, and there was a couple people rumbling at 0.5, and that's what it came in. I wonder if this is them thinking that this is like a big hike. Like everybody says we need to front load this. Um, you know, needs to be front loaded. We heard that we need to start off big. I'm wondering if this is what they consider is kind of like their check boxes. Like yes, we went big on our first one because they talked about such small amounts. And if that's kind of what she's saying, I'm probably gonna have to listen to this later to get all of it in there. But I wonder if that's what she's saying, right? And then again, accelerating, talking about it that one. It's capable of going big if it needs to. So, some of that is posturing as well. But yeah, so in 24 hours, not as much movement as we thought with his blockbusters data. And again, as big of a miss as this, 42 pips is nothing, and it's finally starting to rally back again. So yeah, interesting stuff. Tomorrow, right? Going in, we have a lot of the services data. Now, I think tomorrow is kind of important day for a couple of reasons. One, again, we're seeing the CAD retail sales numbers. Okay, CAD they had a big raise. We've seen some kind of checkered numbers, but it's showing that they're still spending as well. Both their core and retail are both expected to be substantially bigger. So those are important figures, and the question is, did they forecast too high? Could there be some big disappointment, and could this dollar CAD be a big runner in the next 24 hours? Possibly, right? But all these services data, we have things like this: the German flash manufacturing PMI, right? Above 50 indicates industry expansion. They're expected to be 50.6. We know that manufacturing has been having some issues. We just saw it today. If these start to break below, raises some questions about the weakness in the side of the euro. Yes, they're raising the combat inflation, but is it kind of one of these things where it could be a little bit more of a, I don't want to say global recession, but a euro recession, right? So, yeah, I think that's going to be some interesting numbers tomorrow. And again, it may be fast and furious in the morning, and there's again, there's not much we can do about that. I mean, it is what it is. So hold on one sec. Sure. Um, so we'll see how that turns out in the end. But I think again, a lot of these numbers fluctuating around that 50 could really send some kind of shockwaves through. Alva says no recession under baseline. Um, we'd rather not use TVA, but we won't hesitate if we have to. I love this. We could do it, right? We could. Um, the ECB is much more flexible without forward guidance. I don't know. See, this is funny. This is kind of the exact opposite of what the Fed's doing. The Fed is trying to kind of not telegraph, but try to keep surprises out of the market. They're kind of like they're trying to talk about what they're doing 2 and 3 times down the road and say like, listen, we've been wrong, but we're on the right path. We're trying to follow this. We're trying to not have market surprises where they're saying, hey, listen, we're not going to do 40 forward guidance, which means everything's going to be a shock. Again, great for a trader, right? Great for a trader that they're not giving any forward guidance. If we're going to raise this, that we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Basically shows that they are not sure what's going to happen. And again, staying flexible, but again, more market shock. So good. Could be fun trading in there. Um, So yeah, so tomorrow, decent things. 8:30, I think, is an important one, and then obviously the flash services. Again, kind of holding at this 52 level. I don't think there's going to be any necessarily any major surprises here, but you never know with manufacturing PMI if that could drop down under 50, showing kind of a contraction there. You never know, and again, that could send some shockwaves on a Friday. But right now in the currency market, nothing is too necessarily crazy. Let's go. I was looking at all kinds of stuff. Um, 30 minutes. Sorry. Obviously, crude went where we thought it was going. Right there. So here's what we got going on. So we talked about a break of this level, and we never got a Harry Potter entry here. And it kind of came back up and started basing in this level, and then kind of went back up again, and again missed the 69.20, and then kind of came through and drove all the way down, and kind of we talked about this little pattern right here, and this is why I wanted to bring this up today. So again, just a review, you guys all know Harry Potter is when we come through a level, we base, and then we have that continuation, right? We push down, we do a little bit of a base, it kicks back up again, right? And then it continues to push lower. Okay. Now, this pattern is different. This pattern had the basing. We had no entry here. It was literally just this. It was here. We'll do it here. It was basically this and straight back up again, right? So it didn't give us the base like we're looking for. Now this is one of those things. If this green would have touched, then yes, it would have been an entry inside of the trade, according to this, right? A drop, a base, and a pullback into the zone. This though, it was a sideways base, a push down pretty deep, which we don't like. It was a push up, and then a push back, and then a push forward to touch the zone. So this little bit right here, and again, you guys have seen this before, those of you that had the class, right? When we have a green, I'll just do it this way, and then we have a red, right? This color change, oh, it's going to be too small for me to do it with. Yeah, we'll just put it in here. It's like, no. Something along those lines. That is a trend change, right? So unfortunately, in this, again, when we're looking for this kind of pullback, yes, it's a short. But when we have a pullback down, right, and it gives us the green, it gives us another red, and gives us another green, it shows us there's a trend change. And as you can see, a green, red, and then green smash it up high. So again, unfortunately, this Harry Potter didn't go. It actually didn't hit either side, right? We were looking for the short here, and we talked about this being a potential level. It ended up not tagging that level either, and it's really just chopping back and forth. And yesterday we were sitting really right here, so we're really nowhere different than we were yesterday, because now it's pushed all the way down to basically the profit target and sliced higher. It's just time to take it off because it's just not necessarily a trade setup anymore. That's the thing with if this and that trading. It doesn't always trigger, right? Because it needs if this. If this never happens, the trade's not there, and things change. So we take it off. So right now, there was a little bit of a parabolic move at 8:30 this morning. If you were looking for a trade, this was a decent top in here, and it did tag it. And again, depending if you use the green or the entire candle, there you go. It was a very, very quick kind of parabolic move up, retracement back down, and now we're kind of just basing sideways. So I would still say the 69.20 is a decent level in this one. The 68.57 down below. Again, we've seen buyers already in there. I think that's probably going to be a decent level if we can hit it later today. We'll see where we stabilize, but I mean, right now it's down 0.06, so not really, and it's kind of rallying. So not that much movement. And again, as far as catalysts go today, I mean, we had the Fed, the numbers right here, and that's it, right? That's it. Nothing else. You kind of U.S. based, so a little bit slow. But again, nice rally up, nice smack, nice back down again, and I think that was a decent move, right? Yeah, it's about 30 to the downside that you're able to grab, and now you're out. And again, that's parabolic move into a 30-minute zone, boom, right back down. But we're still waiting for the top two. We based a ton in here, but we're gonna take this one off now. We don't need that or that. All right, so yeah, there we go. Aussie yen. So Aussie yen again. Wait for that Harry Potter. We do not have the entry yet. We didn't draw on there because this one has this little hiccup down here. But we did go back up again and grab this level at 95.52, and then again push down, and it rallied back up into there in time for news, and then drop back down. Similar. I would say this one is still kind of on there. Still looking for this one to come down to 45.50. We're still in the same level. I mean, this one is up 0.07. So not a lot of movement from where we were yesterday. We were sitting right here, right here. So we're about to be the exact same spot. Zero movement, 24 hours. And it just literally bounced between those channels. But I will say this. Here's one, here's two, here's three. And you can see we've been riding through this level. I'm starting to like this a lot more, although I'm still concerned about this little kind of hiccup right here. I think this little piece right here is going to give us a little bit of a fit on there. But after that, I think we can drop all the way down. So I am liking it. I would like to see it come down in balance and then come back up again, and that may be a trigger for, depending on how far it pushes into the zone at 94.70. Could be a nice little short there. All right. Euro dollar. So, are we surprised that the euro dollar jumped? No, no. Right. So again, huge spike up, parabolic reversal, and push right back down. And again, nice drop on this one, about 108 pips. You may say, well, why the heck? What happened here at 8 o'clock? Well, this happened at 8 o'clock. Right. So with that said, an 8:15 release is kind of cool. Why is an 8:15? Or no, I'll put it down here. It's a little bit easier. Why is this cool? Because again, on a 2-hour binary, right? A 2-hour binary that opened here, right? It ran up 90 pips and then turned around and dropped down 125 pips. Okay, so just so you can see, let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. From the median price on this one, let's see. So just as a reminder, the differential here is 4 pips, right? 4 pips per binary. So at 8 o'clock this morning, right, we were at 101.90. That was the middle. Let's see. That would be 101.90 would be right here. So let's see. Did we break? Yeah, we blew everything out. It went up to 102.80. Yeah. So we blew every single thing out here. So from where its middle position was, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We blew 8 binary strikes out to the top side. So could you have gotten in on a great little trade here, something a little farther out of the money? Yep. Yep. And then again, we're basically in the same exact spot that we started before. Because here's the 8 o'clock candle and here's the 10 o'clock candle. So in reality, had you held this one to expiration, did you get anything out of it? Not really. But you got 90 pips or 95 pips up, 125 pips stacked down again. So could you have traded this one long or short from either direction off a parabolic move? Absolutely. And I hope that you guys did. Okay. Hope that you guys did. So yeah, this one was one of those ones that was quite interesting. And it's funny looking at it on Nadex. You can really see. It's kind of funny, like to get it contextually right. Um, Here, I'll drag it over. Here, I'll just drag it in. I'll just drag it in. Just so you guys, in case you missed this one, this is what it did. So there was your median price. Look at this, blew all the way up, and then once it blew all the way up, I mean, obviously, again, here was the last one. Um, you had like twice the move. Twice the move. Yeah. So kind of a cool one there. Hopefully everybody was able to take advantage of that one. But yeah, nice, 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 nice. And now we're back in the same spot. So overall, I would say, their news is the point five is awesome, but them saying that, hey, listen, the guides that we were going to use in September is off now, which means if they start to go in kind of a negative recessionary manner, we're not getting another raise. Right? Not getting another raise. So, but again, pretty even on that one. Again, I think, and funny, here's the profit target. We missed it by just a little bit, but it went in and ended up parabolic retracing off of this as well. Again, dropped down and now it's bouncing right off. So it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. Yeah, but what you do with it now, it's kind of hard because we've already had so much movement. But I would say overall today, this is a positive sign. I would say probably more bullish as we push back up into this 102.60 range. Okay. Euro pound. So Euro pound again. We knew we were going to have this coming in. This one actually started to go early. Look at this. At 7 o'clock, we actually started to get the move in this one. It's a 30 pip move before that one kicked in. And funny enough, look at this. I mean, we'd already talked about this level hitting here again. And actually 1, 2, 3, 4. We mentioned not doing it again. It actually did hit one more time and push down. And look at this. It actually did hit a third time. So this one, again, whether you're taking these as a confirmation or entry, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and then obviously we took off through it. And again, this would have been hit number 5 or 6. So again, nice little level from that one. Now this upper level here, we mentioned this one kind of being hidden and looking for it. It looks like we're off on the draw a little bit. Oh, you know what we're doing? I know what we're doing. Yeah. Actually, because we adjusted it, there's where the confirmation is, and again, it's on the 61, and it ended up going just through the top of it, just by a little tiny bit. But then reversing back again. So I would say overall in this one, I do like this push. Actually, you're probably getting some fib traders coming into this one right now. Yeah, yeah. Um, I like this one bullish today. We're gonna remove that because again, it did get breached to the top side. It looks like I want to mark this zone off here. It's hit it a few times and pushed back, but I think that's probably the next level that we're looking at is right there. Let's pull this. Let's go up and see if anything. Yeah, look at this. Now the 50 is right at the right there. So yeah, we're gonna pull this guy off just to clean up the space a little bit. But yeah, 3 different hits off that same zone. So yeah, I like this one to push higher. Whoops. I think right up there. There we go. Yeah, 86.12, I would say, would be the next time. And again, longs, we could have, we already mentioned this level here. And again, kind of a nice push off of it. But I do think now 85 is coming back into the conversation. Probably something along those lines are probably what we're looking for to pull back to. And again, 85.02, it's going to probably come down and touch the 85. But again, we got enough basing in here that it kind of balanced and kind of took off. So I would say right now, top and bottom of this one would be 86.12 and 85.02. And those are probably decent levels. Um, Here you go. There was your channel. We just kind of went sideways through it. Again, the channels only work when and again, this is kind of one of those Harry Potters, right? Came down base, pulled back, and this is one of those ones you probably got stopped out on if you did try to trade it. I'm actually surprised it turned at 2 o'clock. The yen helped us a little bit, but again, hey, whatever, it happens. Anybody that says it doesn't is lying. Actually, it should have been up to here. Not necessarily needed anymore. I'll leave it for the 50. But anyway, we talked about if price was able to get up to 142.17, and look, straight up into the zone, 30-minute level, and boom. So if you got stopped out on your Harry Potter right here, you lost 19. If I mean again, once it started basing in here, you probably got out of it. The green, red, green. You're like, this one's changed. And again, green, red, green. You're like, eh. So worst case scenario, you lost 19 right there. But again, if you would have traded the opposite side, and again, you guys all know what Harry Potters are, or parabolic retracements are, you made 85 here. So you're up 60 on this pair in the last 24 hours. Again, right there. And that's a level we talked about. Profit's still decent there. Yeah, it's what it touched off of. Yeah, that's the correct place to turn because there's your basing, and again, nothing back on the left. There's your drop, and again, there's your confirmation up and touched it and went, and again, that's what it rolled off of. So, um, I'd say we probably run up today. Like I said, we know there's nothing in there. It was a parabolic move down, and now we're just retracing back up. I think 142.17 is probably your target for today. Um, Still think we're gonna have a hiccups down here at 140, and again, we can extend that across. Oh, there we go. Dead on. And interestingly enough, look at that. This zone that we talked about before is now nestled right over at the 50. So we got a couple levels on the downside on this one. But with the news again, the point 0.5 is bigger than expected. I think this one rallies up. Um, Indices are kind of mixed for the day. So yeah, I would assume we come back up. But I think 142.17, the fact that we had the ascending, the 3 wicks at the top, it really tried to go through and it just collapsed. I think this one probably it's going to be slow, but I think this one rallies back up again. But again, we knew the news was coming in at 8:15, right? Strong push in, hit a level we talked about yesterday, and then very very strong drop out of it. Pound dollar. So pound dollar. Great example, and again, Harry Potter. We just mentioned it. I wanted to bring it up because I knew there was a couple different opportunities here. Again, chopping through, no entry, no entry, no entry, no entry. We sliced through it, no entry. It immediately came back up again. And what did this do? Slice down and no entry. So again, It hit our target. It hit our target, but again, not necessarily an entry. And again, we hit that target as well. I will say this one did start rallying back it up at 8, and again, not necessarily associated with it, but nice little level sitting right there, right? And again, you could have marked it there or marked it there. Either one of the two would have worked. There is probably where I would have boxed the red off, right? And again, that's kind of back to the original. I guess you could actually say that there's the original zone. Um, and it's no different. It's a news-based parabolic move. Right there. There's your 1 to 3. So again, parabolic move up, grabbed a 30-minute level that was actually tested with a night push away, and strong push down. And let's see, this one moved 101 pips. I actually think, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I had this one marked off too. Oh, it's expired. I can't see it anymore. Wah, wah, wah. I was a minute late. Where the heck is it? It's 120. Wait, hold on. Yes. Yeah. So in this zone, I had this one marked off. It's actually pushed up now, so it knocked one of them out. But yes, um, there was a pound dollar knockout here that was at. Let's see. I will draw it for you guys. This is one of those ones that I wanted to point out as well because I love when these pop. It is. Let's see. 120.09. Right there is where the knockout was. Oops, can't see that one. I guess we'll just go blue. That's what the top of the knockout was. Bottom of the knockout was at 119.09. So you can see there's its range. There's its range for news. So as price came up, came right into the level, it's sitting right above, and boom, smash this one right out of the bottom side. So again, it's actually it's back on. This same one is back on again because as price rose again, it has now changed some things around and it is reprinted again, as they will, right? Those are the trade knockouts. But nice little push on this one, right? Actually, hold on. There we go. That's what it looks like. And again, remember, remember, you're like, wait, how's that still on? When it went back up again, it busted one of them out and reprinted back again. But it's the same thing, right? If we're gonna do the rectangle, right? That's what it looks like. So again, inside of the zone, we were looking to get close on this one as we came back up, and and again, depend actually on our chart, we marked the whole. Yeah, you can either do the top. It doesn't matter, the top or the bottom. Either one of them is fine. I forgot that I can only adjust this one over here. As it pushed back in again, you knew this was a potential kind of small risk on it, and you got to love that. Look at that; it's boxed on the other side. There's your buffer on these. So again, great little knockout trade for the morning. Hopefully, you guys were able to grab that one as well. And I'll pull this back over here. All right, what to do with this now? Again, came down, tagged our profit target, literally just a few pips past. Let's see. I'd say my feeling on this one is probably with the U.S. session being open now, the pound kind of going out. We're seeing pound weakness, particularly against the euro and everything else. I'd say this one probably comes a bit farther down. I'd say I'm probably a bit more bearish today. I'm really curious to see what happens at this 118.77. It is a level. It was the old 50, but it is right now. The 61.8 is sitting there, so kind of a bigger zone. But again, I would like to see some type of a hit and then a bounce, and then give me that green, red, green off the top side. But I think this one bounces back up again. Maybe in preparation for the news tomorrow. Maybe some dollar weakness, but for the most part, not really surprised by the movement. 7.4. We're down, 50 right now on the day, so well beyond, well below an ATR right now. But again, we're sitting right after a news trade, so kind of hard to do much else with this one. But again, I think that was a great little, pretty easy setup when I punch back in. Um, yeah, I think this is what we're looking for right now. Some type of a confirmation bounce off of this. Um, and again, we still have to chunk through the old profit target, right? This the 118.93. We still have to get through these buyers here, but again, I think it goes down. Look, two confirmations off that level. We got the 61 and there's enough factors, but we do need this one to kind of turn and push right back down again. But I think that's going to be a buying opportunity. Pound yen. So it's funny. It literally rode along this. We knew we had news here, and boom, pushed down, and then it just did sideways, sideways, sideways. Front run, kind of pushed down, kind of came up again, front run again, pushed up again, and now it's kind of basing in this level. We talked about 165 being a level. This was not a candidate yesterday for Harry Potter. Reason why is because again we got some zones sitting right in here, even though the 50 is a little bit lower. This one was going to be a little bit more harder to play, and I still feel the same way. The analysis on it is still. I mean, again, it's no different. I mean, the 23 was kind of like ding, ding, ding. So I mean, it didn't resume its rally. Is it collapsing through? Yeah, but profit target wise, it eliminates us for any type of short. So I would say my opinion is the same as really the pound dollar. I think this one continues to go down. Um, do I love anything about this trade? Not really. I don't think any of this is. Just the setup on a technical basis, I just don't think is wonderful. I think there's better opportunities, and I just don't think this is it. Find something that's a little bit cleaner right now. Nothing screams at me as being, yep, gotta trade this one right now. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, you can see that this one again yesterday or 2 days ago came down. We're still in that same range. We had this zone. We were like, is there one more hit in here? And it got back up and it just missed it. But it's just basing right now. It's kind of pushing sideways. And again, the problem with this one is oil's down 3.4%. We're back down at 96. And yeah, it's just, it, you know, it's setting up for tomorrow. And what do I mean by that one? Again, tomorrow we have the CAD retail sales numbers. That's going to be a big number. Between retail sales and our flash services, I think CAD will be a decent trade tomorrow. So, again, still haven't officially hit the 128.50. But I feel like I want to say that I'm a bit more bearish. Again, I know the other ones it's kind of more dollar strength based, but I feel like with the news tomorrow, um, I feel like this one has the ability to go down. Is it a mind blowing trade? Not really. And like I said, you can see that it's just sideways now since really the European session's done nothing. Had a little bit of a pop from really the European session up. Um, I guess really from like 1 o'clock to 3 or 1 o'clock to 4, but once we hit that 4 o'clock, 4:30 window, nothing. Nothing. So we'll get some dollar movement. But again, know that we have some sellers sitting above there. Um, Again, that's the one that, again, fail on that one. We can leave this on. It's fine. There. And then again, we got a test up there. So let's pull that over. All right. So, and again, this was that forecasting with Fib trade. Dollar Swiss. So, dollar Swiss. We got a nice push up, and then we kind of hit it again. And when it didn't go as high, again, that's where you get out. We were kind of trying to draw this one, and it did. It pushed up. It didn't complete the full racetrack. It only made it about 2/3 of the way through. I thought we'd get a little bit. I thought we'd be able to get up to at least this area here, right? We didn't get all the way up to it. It kind of turned and rolled on us. And again, the European session is what kind of took us out. So again, we were oops, trying to draw that one, and again, we're basically in the same spot we were. Yesterday at 10 o'clock, we were sitting right here. So literally almost at the exact same spot. Sorry, dollar Swiss over here. Yeah, 6 pips. Look at this, 0.7. So yeah, almost at the exact same spot. I'm surprised we didn't. I'm really surprised we didn't get a little bit more out of that one. So right now, we'll continue this across. Um, hmm. I just don't. Let's see. I just don't like much on this one right now. Let's see. Eh, I don't know. We got a 61.8 sitting there. So if we're able to break this low down here at 96.56, my concern is that the level sitting, and again, you can kind of see it here, how it kind of went up and started to kind of chop through and go. I have a feeling that this is going to be an issue. right? And you can see it's right below. So people are going to look at this and be like, "Oh, pivot low, breaks it short." It's shorting right into an area of buyers. So for me right now, I think we see a test of that one. I think look for potential selling coming in at 90. I'm sorry, potential buying coming in at 96.48. Um, and it's probably going to be the top side right there. How much is that? 13. See something real quick. Uh, what is the price up there? 97.32. Hmm. Let's see here. 97.42. Let's see. Let's see. 96. It is a shame it is not earlier in the week. Hmm. Interesting knockout bracket, right? Interesting knockout. There is a zone there, right? It's now been tested, and again, gave us this really strong push off of it and kind of touched it again. It has been hit a few times, but again, being that it's going into Thursday, it's like, can we get enough movement out of that? And again, it is going to be more of like a short on there. So interesting bracket. It would have been interesting to take that one when it came up and tested. And again, it pushed it. You can see that it is past, so it would not have been stopped out on that one. And again, kind of from where this test is here, it's a 60 pip mover to the downside. So interesting knockout placement on that one. And again, this doesn't always happen, but when knockouts place themselves right above, it is kind of a little interesting. You're like, oh, it's not in the middle, right? You got to like it when it's on the outside. So, if we're high here, if we don't break this out and we can maintain high on this one, this could be an interesting trade setup for this 9:45 tomorrow. The services, because if this data comes in really crappy, right, that should be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's weak recession, right? That could be just a downfall. Again, not raising the dollar maybe as much. That could definitely push us down here. And this is not like a monstrous trade or anything like that. So it could be a setup for tomorrow morning. But again, interesting setup on that one so far. And then dollar yen, not surprised. Although we were waiting for this to come up to 139.08. Yeah, we missed this one by about 20 pips, and then turn and rolled. But we're not really, you can see 7 pips in 24 hours. It's not really doing much. It's still kind of hovering and pushing over the same, you know, bottom, 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 based in, bottom, 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 bottom. So yeah, I would say dollar yen. I'm still looking for 139.09, 137.21 at the bottom. So there. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin did turn yesterday. And again, 10:30 reversal, right? 10:30 reversal right there. It happens. Look at that, guys. 10:30 again, even in cryptos. There was a bunch of statements yesterday. I guess there's a bipartisan group now that is talking about. Actually, there's a couple bipartisan groups. There's a bipartisan group talking about the electoral college, which I thought is absolutely hysterical. About kind of making it more fair. I was like, I got it, um, and it makes complete sense, right? Um, Everybody on the left hates the electoral college because they're like, it should be the popular vote, and everybody on the right's like, yeah, California is too powerful, right? It's one state and one set of politics, and it's just so dominant. And I guess actually both sides kind of hate it, right? Because they're like, oh, but you got Texas. It's like, yeah, it's when you have that much people, it's like it basically tells everybody in the middle like you don't matter, right? And that's not kind of what the American, everybody wants equality. Everybody should matter, right? Um, so everybody hates the electoral college, and then there's a bipartisan group talking about legalizing marijuana, right? Which CNBC was like, yeah, we don't think anything's coming from it, but it's good that they're talking about it. It's like, yeah, you guys want all this tax money, just make it legal and tax the heck out of it, like cigarettes or something. Cigarettes and gas, make it like the third commodity, like right. Give us gold, right, or give us oil, natural gas, gold, silver, and then weed, right? Make it a commodity, right? But yeah. So anyway, Bitcoin coming back down again. Talk about bipartisan regulation and putting things around it. Ethereum, same thing, turn and rolled, and then Dogecoin. Now, the other thing about this too is I don't know if you saw yesterday. Tesla said they have sold 75% of their Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin will kind of be the first one that's regulated, or to the greatest extent. But Dogecoin, they're holding all their Dogecoin, and that's what sent this thing spiking yesterday, all the way up, for people to realize, like, wait, what? And then it pushed it right back down again. So yeah, so Tesla has almost sold all their Bitcoin and keeping that Dogecoin because it's going to the moon. So yeah, so just be cautious with that. Bonds, obviously, bonds having a big day today. Indices are all in the red, so not surprising that bonds are there. People are going for safety right now. With some of the data they're concerned about. Let's go across and let's look at oil. So oil, we talked about oil going down. We talked about a target down here at 96. You can see that it went down and it based. Look, dropped, based, and dropped again, sitting right on our oil target. And again, it was a tested level, seeing back here, and then it's rallied back. I mean, it came all the way down to 94. It kind of grabbed this level down here, but again, I think it was just more or less overextended at this point. Um, when was the last time that a Republican president won the popular vote? Electoral College has run its course. I honestly don't even know. I don't really pay attention to it. I just know that it's the rules and we follow the rules. And I'm actually not opposed to the electoral college, Ernest, at all. Um, I'm in complete. I'm in. I don't think the popular vote should be the determining factor because I'm more into the, like. Here's the thing: if the popular vote is all that matters, then why do we have the Senate? Right? Why should the Senate have power? Like, why do we have a Senate? Why don't we just have a House of Representatives? Right? It basically tells people that you don't matter. There's no reason to vote, and that's the reason that people don't vote currently, and then complain about it later. And I'm tired of people complaining. Right? Like my state's a perfect example. Right? It, typically, my state votes 95 to 93% Democrat. So the basically the stance is, people get on a soapbox and like, it's you better go vote. You have to vote. And most Republicans in my state are like, why? What's the point? It's 93 or 95%. So why would I even waste my time going out there and dealing with people and voting? And that's the rationale for it. You know, the reason we have a Senate is because each state formed the union, and each state they wanted an equal say. That's why. That's why. Because I personally, I don't believe that California should. California is, in my opinion, one of the worst states in the entire union. I actually wish that they would leave. It is run so horribly bad in so many different ways. Everything they do is horrible. They literally come at the bottom of everything. Their pollution, their taxes, the way that they manage all their funds, the forest fires. Oh, it's global. No, it's you guys haven't done anything. You've wasted it. It's horrible. I don't want them dictating politics for everybody. Um, you know, people hated Trump. Great. Guess what? I worked in New York City. Okay. I've dealt with New York businessmen. Trump is a New York businessman. If you didn't like Trump, you don't want New York dictating politics and policy for the entire United States. It's not a fair representation. So if all people are created equal, a state that grows our food should have just as much say as another state. That's why we have a Senate. And I'm 100% on board that one. Um, yeah. Um, But yeah. But no, I don't think the electoral college. I just think like everything else, it needs to be adjusted. Because here's the thing, Ernest, as long as you have gerrymandering out there, the electoral college is the only way to fight against kind of gerrymandering. It's really what it is. You know? I mean, gerrymandering exists. It's horrible in some places. So bad. And it's not one side. Both sides are doing it. Yeah, both sides are doing it in a very, very horrible way. And yeah, that's why we have it. Again, in a state like mine where it leans so far. But that's why it's funny, because we had a Republican governor 2 times in a row because they hated the Democrats here so bad. It's pretty bad when Democrats vote for Republicans, and that's how we got, you know, Governor Hogan. But he's done. He did his 2 terms. He can't do any more. So now, like, the primaries now, it's like a big deal right now in Maryland, right, for voting. But it's back to the same thing. Republicans didn't vote Hogan in. Democrats voted Hogan in. Um, yeah, and yet we're one of the states that, even though it is so far left, we still don't have legalized marijuana. We have it for medical purposes, but it's like, no, we don't like tax money. We can have slot machines, but not weed, guys. Not weed. It's like, oh, okay. We can take all their money, but we can't just tax people that have money. Okay, sure. Yeah. So anyway, CL. Um, I still am a believer that this is going to continue to go down. Yesterday, there's some articles written out there about how Putin is actually in Iran talking, and again, Biden went there, and everybody's saying that he came back completely empty-handed. He got nothing from it, which again we saw really no headlines, and there's nothing from it. I think right now the biggest focus is going to be on a recession. What does it look like? And again, it's not just an America problem; it's a global problem. But it's not like Biden got any more. Even Russia right now, even Russia is seeing lower orders from India and China right now. Because again, the concern is that we're going to a global recession right now. We need to start doing cutbacks, and that's the biggest driving factor. And a global recession lowers the demand of this. We're not seeing there's not new oil deals being pumped out there, right? It's literally we're probably going to go into a recession. What does it look like? Is it deep? Is it bad? Is it hard? Or is it not too bad? And again, on a fundamental basis, again, oil. Um, they're doing everything they can in the world to outlaw Russian oil, but which would lower the supply dramatically, but we're seeing this go down. Although there was a person yesterday saying, "Don't be surprised if oil is 130 by the end of the year." I was like, "What? No, can we just? How about we go $30 in the other direction? Why can't CL be like $30? I'm sorry, $60, right? Can we get $60 oil? Like that would be awesome. Why do we have to go the other way?" Um, but I think right now, important areas to watch for. I think one of the big areas if we can get this low is really down here. And again, I'll turn this color so we can see it. The 93, and really, I guess in here as well, this 94ish range, 93 to 94, right? I think this is going to be a big telltale sign. I mean, this is where we gap down to from the weekend, and they kind of push back up again. And again, we had the strong push up, down, and then kind of pop over. So right now, kind of want to see what the manufacturing numbers are. If these numbers tank, services and manufacturing tank tomorrow, I think this continues to go lower. Can we get down to 89, 98? I don't know. That'd be another like $6 move. Ugh. I don't think we can do a $6 move on a Friday. The numbers would have to be really, 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 really bad. Really, 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 really bad. I don't think we can go that far. So, but definitely more on the bearish camp right now. Like I said, I'm in the yes, we are going to a recession camp. I'm not in the soft landing belief. I think this is going to be one of those ones that like everyone's like, oh, but the market's not doing bad. It's okay, right? Maybe it will be a soft landing. I'm kind of not in that believer. I'm in the believer that like, people are going to be like, oh my god, what happened? How did this happen? How did this happen? You know, like kind of like the whole like, hey, inflation is transitory, guys. Don't worry. And then everybody's like, how did we get to this point? My belief is that we're definitely going to recession. I think housing is a big thing. Um, knowing how much more we need to go to raise the interest rates to stop inflation, because inflation is definitely bad, especially long term. Um, I think we have I think when you mess with people's housing, it's one of those big things. I think the housing market takes a huge tank. Um, and again, coming through the market crashes, maybe I'm sensitive to it, but I don't know. I just feel like it's bad. So yeah, I do think oil comes back down again. Like I said, we're not increasing more. We have no new infrastructure. Nobody's building anything for oil. I love when they talk about like, oh, we have no oil infrastructure. No, we don't. Nobody's investing in oil, right? I think there's more investment right now in coal than there is in oil because nobody's stupid, right? So we're not doing really much oil. So yeah, bearish oil. Again, nice little setup from yesterday. We talked about the oil inventory report, gave us the nice drop. Very, very simple to grab. You guys, we drew it yesterday, so I don't need to draw it again. So it's there. Now, natural gas. Natural gas is finally pulling back, giving us a little breather. We talked about two levels, and again, there's your one, there's your two, there's your three. We know that number four breaks, and bam, there's your number four break all the way through. Now, it did slice all the way through, and we talked about a profit target up here at $9.96. We marked it off and said, hey, listen, we had some selling coming in right here. That's probably where the target's going to be. That's why I marked it on orange, and look what it did. And again, don't believe me, go back, watch the recording. It literally came up and tagged that level and then turned and rolled. So again, it's a zone that we need to mark off going into the future. I think it's one that we need to watch out for. And it pulled back. It went back. Actually, you can see it. It's bouncing off the old level here. We'll remove these now. Let's pull this back up and see if it brings us into any interesting other levels. Not really. This one is definitely not straight. It's not far off though. It's like it's close, but it's not quite there. I would say these are the important levels. Again, if we can get back down to $7.07, we do have a Harry Potter trade set up there. We can throw that one on. I thought we had it drawn before, but right there. Oh, and speaking of Maryland and how screwed up we are, Ernest, you laugh at this one. So Maryland is having a surge and like a record number of applications for handguns and carry permits, which is like it's funny because again, it is such a left-leaning state and they're so anti-gun. But we're having a record surge right now in handgun permits and carry permits in Maryland. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Um, yeah, I don't know. And again, Hogan is running for president. I said that 2 years ago when COVID came out, when he started talking about Americans, not, we're out here trying to save Americans, not Marylanders. I was like, oh, there you go, presidential run. Say it's not true. And he's like, yeah, I haven't really thought about it. I'm like, you're full of crap. You're writing a book. You're hyping your book. It's coming. It's coming. And yes, he is running. He's going to put a presidential bid in to run. So don't be surprised, guys, when you see Larry Hogan out there running. And they'll tell you about all the great things he does and how he's the leader of the governors association or something like that. Yeah, yeah. Ugh. Like you said, I told you how to fix Neuro. I told you guys multiple times how to fix voting. Right? There's four options when you have candidates, or there's more than four because I think we need more than two parties. But here are the options: I vote for, I vote against. You can only vote one time, right? So if you have more votes of I vote against, that means you're not voting for. That means that candidate gets eliminated. So if you have, if like if you just did like the Trump and Hillary thing, if Trump has, I don't know, of all the votes like in the pool, if 15% of people voted for Trump, and then 35 people voted against Trump, and then like 45 people voted against Hillary, and then only 17% voted for, we would have to scrap the election and get two new candidates because both candidates had more votes against versus votes for. See? That's what I'm saying because right now nobody's voting for anybody you're voting against. So if the if the popular vote is everybody hates both candidates, neither of those candidates are they can't be it. Because remember, not everybody votes in the primaries, right? The primaries are like a poll of a poll, right? If the popular vote is both these candidates suck, you got to get us new candidates. That's it. That's it. It's the anti-sucking, rule, right? If more people are voting against than for, sorry, can't get it, right? Because you only get one vote. So if 98% of Democrats are like, no, Trump is so evil, I'm voting against Trump, they have to weigh that with, okay, that's great, but my candidate may not have enough. And if that's what it takes to get another good candidate up there, great. You know, eventually you find someone that everybody is happy with, so then nobody can complain. Not that people still won't complain, but I'm just saying. That's how you fix it, guys. That's how you fix it. So natural gas. Again, look at this level up top. I think if we get back up here at 790, what is this? 794. Right, we get a short. I'm not looking forward to being called a Nazi again. Yeah, Nero, it happens. It happens. Yeah, I told my kids, I was like, have fun growing up. I was like, your sister will get opportunities just because she's a girl. It won't matter how great she is, just because she's a girl and she's minority. Um, yeah. Melissa's like, I've gotten jobs because I'm an Asian female. I know for a fact. I was like, yeah, it happens. Yeah. Like I said, I'm one of those. It's funny. I'm a big believer in equality. Like, in the United States, then we like for the symbol of our judiciary, group. It's supposed to be, the woman that's blind, right? Justice is blind, and it's supposed to be. It's not. We all know that it's not. It's definitely unfair, right? But justice is supposed to be blind, right? But why is everything else not supposed to be blind? Right? There's a reason why, there's a reason why the courts are supposed to be blind. And again, they're not. I'm not of any false that there is equality out there. But the thing is, why aren't other things right? Like there are way we could make it that way, but why don't we? We just don't on purpose. Um, yeah, they don't understand exactly, Neuro. Yeah, yeah, and it's funny. My mom got to experience it a lot too, being a teacher. Because obviously, being a white woman teacher, there's a lot of them. So Yeah, she's gotten it a few times too. Um, People with like horrible records getting promoted. Everyone's like, why is she the principal, or why is he the principal? Not that my mom put in for principal, but it was kind of like, why was the like why he's not even qualified. Why would he be given it? It was because it was a checkbox. Um, and like many teachers were like, we're out. This is horrible, bad. We're gone, and they would change schools. Um, saw it happen a few times actually locally. Gold. So gold taking a big pop today. Now gold did pop off the news today of the euro rising, and again, all it did was kind of pull back to a level. We had talked about 1675. We didn't get that far. We made it to 1680. I missed it by $5 on that one. Finally broke through that. We can remove that off the chart. Let's pull this down, and we'll draw the next one. And it looks like we just came off a 61.8, which is kind of an area where again there's basing sitting right here. So not necessarily surprising. I would say gold right now definitely bearish again. And yesterday we were sitting right here. I said, hey, listen, bearish gold as well. Um, Again, not really interested in buying until we get down, but news is what drove it higher. So, again, this is a parabolic move. I'd be looking for this to turn and roll back down. Probably having a little bit of a hiccup right here, right? If everything seems to be leaning towards equality, get ready for the end of the road. Yeah, Ernest, probably. Ernest, and that's the thing. Like, I'm. I, it's weird. It's an interesting debate too. Like, I'm all for equality, but I still believe that the best person should get the job, right? I feel like that's why it should be done blindly, and I don't feel that it is. Like equality to mean like again, equality doesn't mean that our purple people in life have to have as many jobs as our red people, right? And I'm just throwing colors out there, right? If a red person is more qualified, but there's more red people that work there, then the red person should get the job if they're more qualified. But when you're looking at that, you shouldn't know if they're red or purple. Is kind of my opinion. I think it's everywhere. I mean, it's just and kind of the same thing. It's like I had a woman. It's like the Supreme Court. She's like, oh no, she's like, it should be exactly the same. Like we need to have more people in it. It's like no, we don't. Like there's always going to be somebody that's unhappy. Like compromise is important, but there's always going to be people that are unhappy. There's so many things in life that we can change, and we focus on stuff that is not forward looking. Like it's more important for us to go backward looking. And they're like, it's just like I get it. Like, yeah, like I think you have to realize and accept that the past happens. But if you live in the past, you're never going to get to the future. It is kind of my opinion on it. You know, um, and that's the thing. I believe that too many people are so focused on the past. Like, like that. The same thing. Like all like I'm East Coast, so everything is like Civil War here. Like I'm literally in the heart of it, right? Between Maryland, Virginia, and everything like that. Like we're literally where like the Mason Dixon line happened, and Washington, and it's the push over here for like Robert E. Lee statues, right? They're like, oh, we need to remove his statues, and even needs to remove it. It's like learn your history. You do realize that he was asked to run the Union Army, right? They thought so highly of him that they wanted him to run the Union Army, but he's like, listen, my state, my family, my brothers, my best friends are in Virginia, which has gone there, so I need to stand with family, which everybody always says stand with family. But even after the war, do you know he worked at West Point? They brought him back and they used his military tactics and things like that. So he wasn't shunned. He wasn't a pariah. They wanted this guy. But it's like he was a general that helped craft the United States Army after the Civil War, and yet it's like, come on, acknowledge the past happened. It did. If you erase it, then you lose what happened. Like it happened, guys. How do we keep it from happening again in the future? How do we make life better for the next generation? Yeah, they tore down Grant's statue. Uh-huh. Yeah, even though he taught at West Point and basically crafted military doctrine for the United States after the Civil War. Yeah, he was actually a really, and again, he wasn't even like a huge slaveholder. He was like kind of anti all that kind of stuff. It's just so much drama, and like the same thing, like the North. It's like, yeah, the North was great. You know what we did? We did a scorched earth thing where Sherman went from basically Louisiana or Texas or whatever, literally scorched earth all the way across, all the way to Georgia, ruined farms, and yet we're gonna say that, oh, Russia's bad. Like this dude literally went across and destroyed everything. And it's not like the Civil War made it better. I mean, it's again, they were freed slaves, but life got worse for a lot of people. So again, and I'm not saying I agree with slavery. Just FYI, guys, I'm not saying I agree with that. All I'm saying is some people want to spend 8 billion times the energy on things that happened 800 years ago, instead of fixing the problems that we have now. We got so many problems right now, but it's like, no, no, let's talk about things. Let's get. It's like, come on, you know, let's move forward. We are a mess. It's crazy, Ernest. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and not getting any better. You know, it's only getting worse. Um, like I said, Trump was evil, but there were people rioting before Trump even got in, right? I mean, it's like, how did he get in? Well, I mean, nobody, he got voted in, right? And what happened? We caused billions of dollars worth of thing. You're rioting. Why? Because a guy got voted into president. Like it's, and then you're like, oh, Trump caused this discord. No, Trump didn't do anything. Trump, he didn't even take the election serious, right? I don't even think originally he wanted to become the president. And what happened? He got in. Democrats rioted. It's like, why? Like, you started it off on the negative point. Like, there's where the divisiveness came from at the very, very beginning. Like, come on, right? Hadn't even got in. Anyway, silver. Silver took the same pop gold did today. Interesting enough, it pulled back right to a 50 of the 61.8 level. It was a basing level right here. So again, it was definitely a trade setup that we were looking for a short from. Um, Again, we talked about a Harry Potter, and you can see that it kind of came down and pulled back up again. And whenever these are there, it's kind of tricky. It didn't give us the space, but if you would look more near term, right? If you would have looked more near term and said, okay, listen, here's the basing, but we just took a big drop down. Could this drop here be the Harry Potter trade we're looking for? Yes, there would have been, and actually I'll change the color of it. There would have been the new base. So yes, you could have Harry Potter this one. Again, there was your push down. Here's your base sideways, right? And there's your push up. And that's the thing about Harry Potter is you always got to look more towards the near term basing. And when you saw this go down in base right at that level, you're like, oh, is it near term? Yes, it did. In near term. And again, yesterday, what did we talk about? We've had this one. Actually, not yesterday. This one's been up here for a while, right? For what, 6 days, 7 days? 1824. We came down yesterday. Actually, early this morning, 6:30 this morning, 5:30 this morning. We literally finally hit that area and came all the way back up again. So, you know, numerous opportunities in silver. Like I said, silver is not as much fun as gold, but again, it's hitting all the same technical base levels, right? So at this point, we'll remove a lot of the stuff and just kind of mark it there. But I'd say right now, silver kind of in the same idea as gold. Again, once it finds a top, it's kind of hit this level and it has fought. Look for it to turn, roll back to the downside. So someone can break into my house, vandalize my car, or shoot me in public. Whoever they are, not really a top of my list. Yeah. No, I love the thing that like the guy breaks into your house to rob you, and you shoot him, and then he's allowed to sue you. Like I don't, I'm still stuck on that one. I'm like, how do I know he wasn't trying to hurt my family? I don't know. I have kids in here. This man breaks into my house in the middle of the night. He had something to say. I don't know, but if I shoot him, I can go to jail for that. Like he broke into my house. He is a criminal. There's no innocent until proven guilty. I didn't force him into my house. He broke into my house, right? That's what I don't understand. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, the dude that like rallied the posse to shoot that guy that was running in his neighborhood, that dude should get the chair. Like that was absolutely ridiculous. Like, are you serious? Your neighborhood security, you got your friends, jumped in the back of a pickup truck, chased the dude in your neighborhood, and then shot him? What the heck is that? But if you break into my house in the middle of the night and I, shoot you because I feel like my life and my family's life is under thing, how the heck can I get sued for that? I have no idea how that works. Makes no sense, right? Your home is your private property, right? But the dude that's rallying the posse, like, I think all those guys should get the chair. I don't know. Like, yeah, go back to Spartan times, right? Throw that dude off a cliff, right? Make it painful. But yeah, silver, I would say wait for a top. I think we roll back down on that one. Let's check out the indices again. The VIX is up. People are kind of puckering this morning. Let's drop it down to a 15 and see what we got going on here. Looks like there was a trade. 9:30 right there. Oh, did it trigger? Did it trigger? We can pull this up. Doesn't really matter. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, it did. 9:45, 9:30. Yeah. Well, the 9:30 would have been low, and again, this would not have been a trade setup from 9:30. Like I said, this is 1, 2, 3. You wouldn't have looked for this one, but that was in close proximity. Did it hit the 1 to 3? Let's see. There's 2, and 3 is right there. Dead on. Bam. There you go. So there's one opening print setup. Yeah, Ernest, and that's the thing. You know, you talk about the justice system and equality. It is definitely, definitely favors the rich. I don't think there can be any question what color you are. If you have enough money, the justice system is biased, right? You see some of these things like it's I just don't understand it. Absolutely insane. And again, for me, I'm more on the side of like, I definitely think that the justice system is so skewed socioeconomic wise. I don't think it's necessarily as much color wise. I think it's more socioeconomic wise. I definitely think people that are poor or lower income classes. I definitely think they get the shaft. Where if you're rich, it doesn't matter what color. I mean, what's that dude? Tech 69 or whatever. He's got so much money, but yet he gets out of things, and it's like, oh, you're rich, but you're going to pay a lot of money to get a lot of lawyers. Sure, sure, you can get out of it, right? Like OJ, like people joke around OJ, right? Right? Kind of the same thing. If you have money, you can get anything you want. Like, imagine, I mean, just look at Elon. Look at what Elon gets away with, right? Yeah, it's a rich people thing, right? So, yeah, rich people I think get away with way too much, But if you are rich, you can get away with anything you want. That's where I think the problem is. Good old Elon. Anyway, ES would have been opening print setup. We're already out on that one. I think it probably comes back up, and I think we probably in the day at the 39.70. As you can see, not trending super huge. There's no real news. I think tomorrow is really where we're going to look for this one. Being a 9:45 release, the market will open. See what the opening print looks like tomorrow. Maybe we'll switch over tomorrow morning right at 9:30, and we'll start looking at that one because that data is coming out. We'll kind of see where we're pre-positioning, but I think for me, I'm thinking leaning more towards a negative kind of data release tomorrow, which would be kind of an initial push like this. But as far as the 15-minute setup goes, the red candle right here would have been kind of where we were. When you look to the left, it's like, well, wait a second, this is demand. One, two, three. This was the original piece. Nope. And it did pop off of it, but it wouldn't have been an area where you're looking to go long from. But when it pops up, we knew we had something a little bit higher. All it did was it retrace back in for 10 o'clock and boom, slam right back down. And we're at 10:30 now. Could be the reversal, but I think we end up trending sideways. NQ, again, the 9:30 open tier, same thing. One, two, three. Not necessarily interested. There's your kind of overnight basing period, and again, we ended up tagging this at 10 o'clock, which is fine. We rallied right into it. This one I'm sure is probably out as well. Uh, 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 uh. Yep, 1 to 3. Boom. This one is out too. So 2 for 2. OJ wrote a book about his crime. Yeah, did he really? Yeah. I just, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's the same thing. I mean, like I'm on the big mob kick right now, so I was watching a lot of like Goodfellas and Casino and Donnie Brasco and that kind of stuff, and all those guys have like YouTube programs now, right? It's like, yeah, I killed 19 people, but the boss above me was more important, so I got immunity for those 19, or I did like 9 years in jail. I'm like, wow, you got a year of jail for each person you killed, really? Wow. Yeah, wow. Yeah. 1 year, right? If I did it, yeah. Well, Ernest, it's like that lady that did she wrote the book or had the series or something about that, about, killing husbands or something like that. Like if I was going to kill my husband or something and it turned out she did kill her husband or significant other or something like that. It's kind of the same thing. It's like, really, is this person that dumb that they're going to make a movie or reality TV show about, if I was going to do the perfect crime, and then it turned out that they did kill a significant other or something like that. It's like, wow. Yeah. But we're eating it up as the public, man. We're eating it up as the public. Anyway, NQ is out. YM, let's see if it had something similar. Woo! YM is choppy today. Um, Looks like why. And again, you can see this one actually had its fourth, and it was breaking through at 9:30. So again, not an open. It did go down and kind of bounce off this level. And again, we talked about yesterday about the 31.56 level. That's where it kind of went off of. Unfortunately, this one would not have triggered. So I'd say that this is probably where it was. It triggered at 8:30, but again, the 9:30 open, it didn't make it back up there. So again, 2 for 3, but again, 100% on the profit targets when they actually triggered. It is turning right now, and again, we talked about this 23.6 pullback. This one does kind of align with, again, it is the weakest right now, but if we do start to kind of rally back up, again, YM is in the right area to go that far. So YM's in a decent spot. Russell, 9:30 is here. Absolutely not in a buy area, and it does not look like it made it back up. If we're going to do the base up top, looking at something like that, it didn't make it. So again, using that 1800, again, not surprised that we bounced it off of that 1800. So yeah, it looks like we're 2 for 2, but 100% on both the entries, all the way to full profit target immediately. Again, the way that these are all looking, looks like they could potentially all do a little bit of a rally back up today. With the manufacturing tomorrow, I'd like to see what core retail sales looks like. But again, manufacturing and services, if they can break lower, 51, 50, 49, I think this is a big drop tomorrow. And I want to see if we rally up before news. So the news is at 9:45. At 9:30, if we start to rally up before the news, that would be a sign for me to go ahead and take this one short. So there's your opportunity for tomorrow morning, and it'll be right when we go on. And like I said, remind me tomorrow morning, hey, look at indices because we have news coming. I'll try to remember, and I'll try to go over and see if we can set this one up for news. Looks inventory is basically a little bit less than expected. What is natural gas doing now? Yeah, there's your natural gas pop, less than expected. So again, not necessarily a surprise. Let's see, but that would have been. Could we have traded that one today? Yep, right there. Inventory tagged it and went. I don't even know. Let's see. It's funny. Nadex's charts for natural gas are just so ugly. They don't have this spike down at all. It has a build. Oh, you know what? I'm on a 30-minute. Make it a 5-minute. Hold on. Yeah, they don't have the spike. This one does not have the spike down. Go Nadex. Actually, there's a little bit different too. I guess it's the same. Yeah, Nadex doesn't have the spike down. So, yeah. Um, yeah, I can't even tell. Um, was a decent call spread though. There was a call spread that started right here and ended right there. So decent call spread, just out of the money before the news. Not bad. Eh. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the giveaway today. So, got 7 people in. We got everybody back again. Sean, good seeing you. Sean, my kids are up in Michigan, so they've been there like a week right now. I think they come back in a week, and then the little ones come back. So, yeah. All right. So, Ernest must have won yesterday. I think Ernest won yesterday because he's in with 3 today. Did Ernest win yesterday? I feel like Ernest won yesterday. But he's in with 3. So I will check it. I will check it just to confirm. But Ernest will be going for 100. Everybody else is going for 25 today. This will be number 2 for him. All right, let's shut it down. Winner of today's drawing is Sean. It's probably because I mentioned Sean's name, and Google listens to everything that you say. And I know Sean wasn't here yesterday. So yeah, Sean comes back and wins. It's getting like Wealth Builder. Wealth Builder comes in and wins every time. Just to confirm it, let's see. Yesterday, yeah, it was Ernest yesterday. Yeah, Ernest listens, we win. I know. I'm telling you, it's because it. I'm telling you, it listens. It heard me say Sean's name. I should have never said Sean's name. I probably gave it away to him. That's probably what it was. That's what happened. I didn't even know he was there. What you can do? All right, so I'm out of here today. If you need anything, shoot me a message on Discord. I am going to be in and out today. And again, tomorrow morning, please remind me. Let's look at indices right away. We'll see if we can get any stuff set up for news, and we'll go from there. All right, with that said, thank you for joining. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. No names, I know, right? Exactly.